we are going to be listening to the BFG book. Sophie couldn't sleep, and the brilliant moonbeam was shining in. Sophie couldn't sleep. A bright moonbeam was slipping through the gap in the curtains. It was shining right on her pillow. The other children in the dormitory had been sleeping for hours. Sophie closed her eyes and lay quietly still. She tried very hard to doze off. It wasn't good. It was no good. The moonbeam was like a silver blade slicing through the room onto her face. The house was absolutely silent. No voices came up from downstairs. There were no footsteps on the floor above either. The window behind the curtains was wide open, but nobody was walking on the pavement outside. No cars went by on the street. Not the tiniest sound could be heard anywhere. Sophie never knew such a silence. Perhaps, she told herself, this is what they called the witching hour. The witching hour. Somebody had one whisper to her was a very special moment in the middle of the night when every child and every grown-up was in a deep, deep sleep, and all of the dark things came out from hiding and had the world to themselves. The brighter moonbeam was brighter than ever on Sophie's pillow. She decided to get out of bed and close the gap in the curtains. You got punished if you were caught out of bed after the lights out, even if you had to go to the lavatory. That was not exception as an excuse. Now Sophie was sure of that. She reached out for her glasses that lay on the chair beside her bed and tipped over to the window. When she reached the curtains, Sophie hesitated. She longed to duck underneath them and learn out of the window to see what the world looked underneath them. Learn out of the window, and she looked like now. The witching hour was at hand. She listened again. Everyone, it was deathly still. The young'un to look out became so strong she couldn't resist it. Quickly, she ducked underneath the curtains and held out of the window. In the silvery moonlight, the village street she knew so well seemed completely different. The houses looked bent and crooked, like houses in a fairy tale. Everything was pale and ghostly and milky white. Across the road, could see Mrs. Wedgerson's shop, where you bought buttons and wool and bits of elastic. It didn't look real. There was something dim and misty about that too. Sophie allowed her eyes and traveled future and future down the street. Suddenly, the frozen there was something coming up the street to the opposite side. It was something black, something tall and black, something very tall, very black and very thin. Chapter 2. Who? It wasn't a human. It couldn't have been. It was 4 times as tall as the tallest human. It was so tall. Its head was higher than the upstairs windows from out the throne. We're going to stop it there and read chapter 2 next time. Bye.